This is an absolute robbery for the Boston Red Sox as trade rumors are escalating and a new report reveals an insane three-team trade that has the Red Sox landing a premier pitcher while also sending Jarren Duran to LA. Welcome into Red Sox Digest, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews, and I appreciate you hanging out with us and tuning in to today's show. You're looking for coverage of the Boston Red Sox throughout the entirety of the 2025 MLB offseason into 2026. We've got you covered. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, 100% free, no purchase necessary. The Boston Red Sox have already executed one trade for better or for worse. They acquired Sonny Gray in a recent trade that sent Brandon Clark and Richard Fitts to St. Louis. Now, I have my opinions on this trade, and quite frankly, I don't like it, especially because it feels like this was the move to get that quote-unquote number 2 pitcher. However, the Red Sox still have a lot of dealing to do, and in my mind, Sonny Gray can be a good thing if you pair him with other options in the trade market and in free agency. And I've said this pretty much the entire offseason. I said it in the regular season. The guy that I want, the premier pitcher that I want to pair next to Garrett Crochet, it's Joe Ryan. It's Joe Ryan. And we had a recent article from Bleacher Report talking about 7 ridiculous trades that we would like to see. And in this trade, guess what? The Red Sox do exactly that, acquire Joe Ryan. Now, it's not the normal one-for-one type swap where the Red Sox send these prospects over and the Twins send over Joe Ryan. Instead, this takes an entirely different turn. As we know, Boston and their outfield is in a quote-unquote interesting spot. And well, when you look at their outfield situation, you know that they kind of have some extra bodies in there. Obviously, the hope is for Roman Anthony to be back and healthy and play a significant amount in what I would say is left field. They have they have Ceddanne Rafaela in center field. That has been an option to trade, but they seem to like him. And then a Gold Glove winner in back-to-back years in Wilyer Abreu in right field, which kind of puts the oddball out on Jarren Duran. Now, this was the number 4 trade on the quote-unquote 7 crazy trades we'd like to see. And they would call it a mini Mookie trade because, well, we're sending Jarren Duran to the Dodgers. Now, I start with this by saying the Los Angeles Dodgers and trades with the Boston Red Sox, well, they haven't exactly been kind. And while the Red Sox have themselves to blame for trying to micromanage and money manage in the Fenway Sports Group, if they want to actually win baseball games, they have to spend the money, and they don't comprehend that when they're a premier destination and should, in theory, be a premier spending spot as well. However, Mookie is not the only part that we have seen come from LA or be with an LA trade and not work out in the Red Sox favor. Another one happened this season. Dustin May came over from LA and basically was a non-factor. I truly do believe that the Red Sox didn't trade for Dustin May, and instead of trading Rafael Devers for whatever they got, Kyle Harris, whatever, if they just left out some people, if they traded him for a bag of chips, they would have been able to win more games thanks to Jordan Hicks. So that was a big thing there. But either way, talking about the Dodgers, trades with them, they just haven't gone right. However, this trade particularly, it spikes my interest because the Dodgers are giving up most of the necessity of the quote-unquote prospects. Here is the official trade from Bleacher Report. In this, the Dodgers would acquire Jarren Duran. The Red Sox would get that premier rotational guy with Joe Ryan. And in return, the Twins would get the Dodgers number 2 prospect Zaire Hope, the Dodgers number 6 prospect Jackson Ferris, and the Dodgers number 18 prospect Chase Harlan. Noticing a trend, only one Red Sox prospect goes away in this, in Marcus Phillips, who at the time was the number 11 prospect with the trade of Brandon Clark. He has moved up into the top 10. These are obviously a very heavy Dodger prospect range. Now, you are giving up Jarren Duran. In my mind, that's a price to play. You give up Jarren Duran and a prospect for Joe Ryan, I'm taking that deal every single day. Now, what does this mean? How does this deal actually go about? Well, first of all, we have to look at Joe Ryan and understand that he is under contract for the next couple seasons, I believe until 2027. This past year, he put up premier numbers, 1.035 whip, an ERA of 3.42. I'd recommend that his ERA would drop this season if he was put on a competitive team. 138 hits allowed, 7.3 hits per nine, 194 strikeouts to just 26 homers. And again, he pitched in 31 games. This guy is a guy who goes out there, he posts, he plays, and in all reality is somebody that the Red Sox would love to have. What are they giving up? Well, Jarren Duran obviously is, I would say, part of this team in a lot of ways, was the life and soul of this team throughout 2024 and what people expected to be in 2025. But unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. And Jarren Duran did not have a bad season this past year. Let's start with that. He had a very, very average season. It was not bad, but the expectation after his All-Star Game MVP was for him to be this top-tier upper echelon player, which he was in some aspects. His doubles still stayed the same. He still was a triples king. His power was here and there. I mean, he ultimately had 16 homers. Like, it's not like this guy's just going up there and striking out all the time, but his strikeouts definitely increased. 169 strikeouts to 159 hits. He still batted 620 times, and like Joe Ryan, he posts. He can play every day. In fact, if it weren't for something that should not be talked about, he would have played 162 games in 2024. Does this deal actually get done? Do the Dodgers actually want this? Yes, I can tell you that they do. For the Red Sox purposes, they want a starting pitcher. For the Dodgers purposes, they're looking for a cheaper outfielder than Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger, and this is an option for them. The only prospect of maybe bad things to come is the fact that you look at this trade, and this is just my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you think differently and think higher of Jarren Duran, but given the prospects that the Twins are giving up, and the fact that the Twins are getting back Jarren Duran, whereas the Red Sox are giving up Jarren Duran and Marcus Phillips and getting back Joe Ryan, I think this is an absolute steal for the Boston Red Sox. I love this deal. I think this is one that if it was put on the table to Craig Breslow saying, hey, the Twins and Dodgers have agreed to this, all you got to do is sign the paper, get me the pen and sign me up, because I'm taking this within a couple seconds. But I want to ask you the question again. Jarren Duran goes to LA. Joe Ryan comes to Boston, and going to Minnesota is the Dodgers' number 2, number 6, and number 18 prospects. And for the Red Sox, they send their number 11 prospect in Marcus Phillips. Would you accept this trade? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you would accept this trade for the Red Sox, then I want you to type T for trade. If you think this is not a good deal and this is stupid and that Jarren Duran is way more valuable and they should keep him over Bleacher Report or other outfielders, then type P for pass. I've already said my opinion. I love this deal. I think it's a very good one. Joe Ryan is such a good arm for me. His K percentage, his walk percentage, his expected batting average, his expected ERA, his extension, every one of the things that the Red Sox like to have and they think they can grow on the other stuff is there. They know they can help with the fastball velo or just take it away. They know they can help with the average exit velo off the bat. They know they can help with the chase rate. They know they can help with the whiff rate. Everything on here screams the intangibles the Red Sox have been quote-unquote unable to fix are there. You pair him with Garrett Crochet, I would argue to say you have one of, if not the best 1-2 punches in all of the major leagues. Now, maybe that's a bit ambiguous, but I do believe that Joe Ryan has got it in his tank. And if you look back to his previous seasons, a 1.04 this last year whip, a .99 whip with a 3.60 ERA in 2024. His ERA continues to come down. And again, he was playing with the Twins. I distinctly remember a game where the Red Sox were facing Joe Ryan, and they took Joe Ryan out. And then guess what? He had runners on base with 2 outs, and the bullpen gave up the 2 runs. There are other extenuating factors to his earned run average that I would attribute to LA. Now, is it going to drop it a whole run? Probably not. But again, you go back and look at these stats and say, okay, his ERA is a 3.42. It's probably around a 3 if you take away being on the Twins. I just like this deal a lot. I love Jarren Duran. I do not want to trade him. I don't. But at the end of the day, if the Red Sox are dead set on trading him, which it seems like they are, then I want to get somebody back that I want. I want to get somebody back that I trust. I want to get somebody back that will help this organization make it back to the playoffs this year and make a deeper run than what we saw 3 or 4 months ago. That's what I got for you today on Red Sox Digest. We appreciate you hanging out with us and tuning in to today's show. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time here. Peace out, guys.